Hi! I wonder if you'll subscribe now. Nah, I don't think you got the balls for it. Or the breasts. Nintendo Switch 2 is here! Well, not here in my apartment, I don't have it. I plan on getting it. Not really liking all the price points, but I plan on getting it at some point, maybe, who knows, I don't know. Life is a boat, and we never know where it's gonna blow, so, But at this point, I'm still feeling like I'm probably gonna get it at some point. Just don't know when. Anyway though, what better time to make my Nintendo Switch Top 10 video than right now that Nintendo Switch 2 has arrived. That's right, we're gonna take a look at my top 10 Nintendo Switch games right now. Before I get to my number 10 on this list, you probably can guess already that this list is gonna be quite full of Nintendo's first-party titles, but I do have a couple of third-party titles. Mostly I kept my rule of thumb here. I played the game on Nintendo Switch, and that is it. And Nintendo Switch, I honestly, I haven't played like those bigger games, third-party bigger games like Witcher 3 and shit like that, cause why would I? I have PlayStation 4 and 5. I also have Xbox Series X, which don't hold against me, but I do have that. But yeah, Nintendo Switch for me, it was my favorite console on the PlayStation 4 Xbox Series era, and I do believe it's still kind of my favorite console because I just like smaller games. I love playing like old school style, retro type games, retro RPGs, retro platformers, retro beat 'em ups, retro this and that. So for those who are expecting this list to have some bigger games from anyone else except Nintendo, not really happening. No Witcher 3. Why would I want to play them? I'm sure you could play it anywhere you want, but I gotta be honest, 99.9% of the time, I played my Nintendo Switch in dark mode. And once I buy Nintendo Switch 2, if I buy Nintendo Switch 2, it's gonna be dark. And I'm gonna play mostly Nintendo's first party games. That's why I'm getting it. Nintendo's first party games, they're great. I love them. Number 10 on this list, and we're actually gonna start with third-party title. It's a remake, and oh boy, I love the original. The original is one of my all-time favorite games, and this remake did fantastic. I love this. This is so goddamn great game. Just good old-fashioned platforming. In a tank, but sometimes as a dude also. And it's a legendary game from Sunsoft, and the game's called Blaster Master Zero. The original Blaster Master was for NES, and that game holds a near and dear place to my heart, or could be just first symptoms of heart attack. I don't know. I've never had one, so how would I know? Maybe. But yeah, Master Blaster Zero. It's a 2D side scroller. Well, when you're in a tank. Well, actually, when you're as a guy too, because you can hop out from the tank. But there are also own levels for when you're a dude. Just a dude out of tank. And those are this isometric view or top down. You go around these mazes and you try to get the boss and beat the boss and get new stuff for your tank so you can get into different places. It's kind of like Metroidvania in a way. You have your tank and you need new stuff for it so you can get to places where you couldn't before. Like thrusters and all that. I never really looked at this game like a Metroidvania before. That's because this was before Metroidvania games. Well, actually, I don't know if the first Metroid came before this, but you know what I mean. It's the same era, so hey, maybe that genre is now Blasteroidvania type of games. Not really too catchy. But yes, Blaster Master Zero. I fucking love this game. It's it makes me warm when I play this. It is so good. And yes, this is the Nintendo Switch, even though it looks like it's a NES, but here. There's the little logo, Nintendo Switch. Anyway, moving on. Don't want to make this video too long. I'm gonna just try to breeze through this. Number 10, Blaster Master Zero. Then we get to number 9 on my list, and we're finally getting into those Nintendo first-party titles, and yeah, this was one of my favorite games of last year. This actually made my Game of the Year list, 3rd or 2nd. I can't remember, but fucking love this game. It's so goddamn fantastic, and yeah, if you've seen that video, I only had one Nintendo Switch game on that list, because last year I played way more PlayStation 5 games. Anyway, the game I'm talking about is Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. Yeah, this is actually the first Zelda game where we play as Link, the princess. Now, I've always loved 2D Zeldas more than 3D Zeldas. I don't know, I'm an old school gamer. I just like my stuff in 2D more than 3D. I do enjoy 3D games too, but something about, especially Nintendo's own first party titles, 2D is just, if I had to pick 3D and 2D, if I go with 2D, I'm gonna be most likely even more guaranteed that I'm gonna enjoy the game, even though I do enjoy their, especially Nintendo Switch era 3D games. It's just the older 3D games when Nintendo really started dabbling on 3D. I don't know which. 2D was always the thing for me, you know. That was my jam. And Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, your princess, and this one's isometric view or top-down isometric view, and you go around. You have this kind of big map for the style. Not the longest adventure. I don't remember how long it took me to. It was over 10 hours. I think like 15 or something. I don't know. There's some collectibles, but you go around, and Zelda isn't the type of fighter as Link is. Link isn't the type of fighter Zelda is. Anyway, the princess can't really wield a sword, so what does she do? She copies stuff. That's what women do. They just copy-paste stuff that men had already built. I'm joking. I don't know who invented what, but when it does come to swordplay, I do believe men probably started stabbing themselves before women did. That I'm fairly certain. I could be wrong if someone's got some historical proofs. But I do believe that men invented stabbing each other, and I'm really proud of that. Just what we need. Anyway, you copy-paste like beds and rocks and stuff. You can build your kind of own ladders so you can get higher places, placing beds on top of each other. And also the battle is mostly done by you copy-pasting enemies. You can actually capture the enemies, get their model or something like that. So then afterwards you can create those and you can make those attack the other enemies. So it's kind of like Pokemon in that sense. Not exactly, but kind of. It's more fun than Pokemon. I'm not a Pokemon fan. No Pokemon games on this list. Sorry, spoiler. But yeah, just really fun adventure. Just like, old school Zelda games. I dig this. This was great. This is fucking fantastic. If you like old school isometric view games where you have to use your brain even a little bit because there's some puzzle and all that, you have to make it through dungeons and all that shit, give this a try. This is a really fun game. I do dig this. She can wield a sword and use a bow and arrow also, but it's like this kind of temporary force you can activate. So not all the time. But yeah. Number 8 on this list is definitely the manliest game on this list. I fucking love this. This is the only game on this list that I didn't beat. Yeah, pretty sure this is the only game I didn't beat. I got stuck at one boss. I tried. I got my ass whooped. I've been meaning to go back to this and finish this, but man, I love this. This was so goddamn good. It's one of the best run and gun games I've ever played. Valfaris, when you need balls, heavy metal, and big guns, and blood, and gore, this one's for you. Only thing missing is boobs. I don't know why. Boobs would have really fitted in this universe. That would have been so cool. You get the metal music, you got gore, you got big guns. Where are the boobs? Where are the boobs? And liquor. And drugs. Okay, maybe leave out liquor and drugs, but still, boobs would have fitted this like fucking fist in your eye. Sci-fi run and gun. You run around and you shoot big baddies, all kinds of alien creatures and creepy crawlers. It gets hectic. There's shit coming at you from all directions at once, and it's just, I love this game. There's really not much else to say about this. It is true and true, old school, retro style run and gun game with big guns and a lot of blood. And alien creatures where you shoot. And metal soundtrack. So yeah, it doesn't really get better than that. If you like those things, you're gonna love this. If you don't like those things, I don't know what's wrong with you. You really need to reevaluate your life. But Valfaris, this is so goddamn good. Need more games like this. Actually, I believe they released new Valfaris game last year, but that seemed to be more like a shoot 'em up where you were flying around in a spaceship and shooting. God damn it, I forgot about that. I haven't seen a physical release of that. I'll have to check that out, possibly. Number 7 spot on this list. Holy shit! It's a Nintendo first party game and it's 3D. See, I don't hate all 3D games, but yeah, this one was actually kind of surprised because I never really dug the earlier 3D games in this series. They weren't really my jam. Especially the N64 games that everyone's always hyping as one of the best games ever made. You know what? I hate Nintendo 64. I really hate it. You might say I'm kind of a racist against Nintendo 64. If it came out for that console and you had to play it with that stupid controller, I hated it. Fuck Nintendo 64. You might have already guessed, but yeah, this is Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. And yeah, this is a 3D Zelda. And I was really surprised. I really dig how they did this. Huge, big Zelda open world. You got quite a big map. And it's just the physics in how you can interact with your surroundings and enemies, how you can kind of use your brain and figure out new ways how to beat your enemies. That was just so fantastic, and just the feel of adventure. I love how this game doesn't really hold your hand too much. It doesn't really tell you where to go exactly. I mean, it does give you clues, but not like, follow these arrows and, or here's a line and, or here's a check. Well, there is kind of a checkpoint, but it's not, I think this one did the survival in open world way better than actually a lot of other games, modern games even either. I think nowadays they just fill your screen with too much, all kinds of crap, and there's a checkpoint, there's a treasure chest, there's a weird rock you need to pee on, and boss enemy, and collectible dildo, and legendary hooker you need to suck her toes, and whatever. It's just, I just haven't, no, I don't. I mean, I still like open world games, but these days they're just kind of, I'm mostly talking about Ubisoft. You stick so much stuff in that, it doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. It takes all the pleasure of actually finding stuff and, going on adventure. This one does it so goddamn good. I love this game. I love how you run into new enemies and you can't really tell if you can beat them or not, or if you have to come back later. Man, this really nailed open world kind of adventure feel. This is how you do it. I don't actually have the sequel in this list because that added the building, and yes, I know that adds so much more possibilities and all that, but I don't know. I'm tired of every game having building stuff. It was good. I never finished it though, and I don't know. It's just for the moment I'm kind of fed up with building in these types of games. So yeah, man, I like this. This is more straightforward adventure game. So yeah, Breath of the Wild. Number 6 on this list is the last third-party game for Nintendo I have on this list. But god damn it, this was so good. I loved this game. It was just... And it's a sequel to old game series on Sega Mega Drive. Beat 'em up series. Might have guessed it already. Streets of Rage 4. Now you might be asking yourself, why is this still in plastic? Well, I actually had the digital version too. I reviewed it on my channel, so this physical version, it came so late that I had to get the digital version, and I played that through, and haven't touched this physical version. That's why it's still in plastic. But man, did I love this. Streets of Rage games, I do have to say I probably prefer Double Dragon above those, but goddammit, this is so good, just old school 2D side scrolling. Well, it's that 2.5D where you can go, up and down the screen, and a lot of enemies. You gotta beat them up. You choose your guy. There was four guys, 17 playable characters, including 12 in pixel art. Oh yeah, that's how it went. You got those, pixel art guys from the old games. I do believe you could unlock those. Streets of Rage, what a fucking fantastic beat 'em up game series. Streets of Rage 2 still considered possibly the best beat 'em up game ever made by a lot of folks. For me, it's really high up there. I'll have to do my top 10 or top 7 beat 'em up games list at some point possibly, but yeah, it's gonna be high up there too. It's so goddamn good, and this one didn't disappoint. This one's my second favorite, right after Streets of Rage 2. This is so goddamn good. You go around, beat up people. That's what you do when there's rage on those streets. Take a stroll and kick motherfuckers in their jaw. Then we get to number 5, and first game on this list that actually has Nintendo's own lovable plumber, who I'm not a fan of him. I like his brother more, but goddammit, Mario games, they're so good. I don't like Mario. Luigi's better. It should be always Luigi, Super Luigi Brothers. Fuck Mario. But yeah, I had to put this. This is actually a Wii U game, if I remember correctly, but they re-released it on Nintendo Switch, and they added one bonus scenario in this, which I haven't tried that bonus scenario though. But yeah, this is a Super Mario 3D Worlds plus Bowser's Fury. And let me tell you, this is fantastic. Even though it says 3D Worlds, this does have more feel like it is one of those 2D Mario games. That's probably why I really love this one. It just, you go around as Mario or Princess Peach. I think in this one you could choose, it's been a little while since I played this, but between, you know, Luigi, Mario, and possibly Princess, and might have been Toad. Well, it's right there on the cover. There's a Luigi, Mario, Peach, and Toad. I do believe those were the characters you could choose. I played Super Mario Wonder last, like earlier this year, or no, last year, somewhere around there. But yeah, I'm mixing up the rosters, so you know, please forgive me. By the way, Wonder didn't make this list. I thought about it. I really love that one too. But yeah, I had to go with Super Mario World 3D Worlds over that. I just love. Also, Catsuit is more represented in this one. You know, you're basically half the game. You're running around in Catsuit, and I love my cats. You're not here though, so yeah, I'm not gonna show them on camera apparently, unless one of those buggers sneaks up on here. Then I'm gonna exhibit them to the world in front of the camera. But you know, it happens if it happens. Doesn't seem to happen, huh? Anyway, yeah, Super Mario 3D Worlds. This is you go around this 3D 1 to 4 players. We actually tried this 4-player with friends. That was chaotic. That was usually they say multiplayer it enhances experience, but I gotta say that was way too chaotic and it didn't really hit me that well. It just, they were fucking up my good run. So you know, screw friends. They just ruin your fun, your own fun. You know, who needs friends anyway? Although to be fair, we were drunk, so that might have had some part in why things kind of went the way they did. It feels more good old-fashioned Super Mario games, you know, those 2D games. So yeah, I love this. This is great. I'm not gonna... It's Mario. You know what they do in Mario. They jump around, jump up and then get down. Number 4 on this list, and yeah, like I said, I do like 2D more than 3D, but goddammit, this is probably the best 3D game in this series, and fuck, I just love this. This is Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah, you go around in 3D world. It's got really nice levels. I always like the design in Mario games. It's so colorful and just so fun and wacky. And in this one, you get to throw your hat and you can control others with your hat. That was kind of the gimmick they put in this, because every Mario game has a new gimmick. The series has been around since the 80s, so yeah, it's. I'm actually impressed how much I still love these games. That's just insane. But they managed to keep it at the same time old and familiar, but also kind of refreshing with the new gimmick. So yeah, you can throw around that hat and control enemies. You know, there's actually a T-Rex, a huge ass T-Rex you can control. What's not to love? It's a 3D Mario game. You go around and do Mario stuff, kind of like, you know, Mario 64 started, which I hate because it's 64, like I said before. I'm not a fan. Super Mario Odyssey, I'd have to say, you know, if you really want to try out 3D Marios, this is the way to go. Also, I do love the little nods to older Mario games where you can go into a pipe and your Mario turns into old Mario, like NES Super Mario Brothers, the first one. There's usually this little level where you go and it's that type of world, and you know, you get the bricks and all that and you break those, and I'm a sucker for childhood nostalgia, and that just hits me the right way. That it's great nod to the old Marios. I really dug that. Super Mario Odyssey, fantastic game. Next is number 3 on this list, and we're back to 2D stuff, kind of 2D stuff. It's more modern 2D stuff, so you know, isometric view, blah 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 blah. But back to a series that's already been represented on this list a couple of times. No, it's not Mario, it's the other series, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. I gotta say, I love this game. I never played the original on Game Boy because this is remake of the Game Boy game. But man, it's just, this one's really got that old school style feel. Whoa, it is a Game Boy game, basically. So yeah, I really dug this, you know. It gives me that Link to the Past vibes, which is probably one of the best, if not the best, Zelda games ever made. That was the one that was on SNES, but yeah, Game Boy was more primitive, so you know, it couldn't replicate that type of stuff. But good thing about remasters and modern days, you can do that. And yeah, this one just, it looks great, it feels great, it's got that really old Zelda adventure feel to it that I love this style of Zelda the most. This is just, can't beat it, can't beat it. Just like Echoes of Wisdom, you know, the same type of stuff. This one has the old school Link with the sword and the shield, and you get to find all those, bombs and boomerangs and all that. I'm a sucker for nostalgia, and this one hits me the right way when it comes to that. And Zelda games, usually I don't really care about the story, and I can't say this one had like the best story ever, but kind of interesting, you know. Zelda wakes up from a deserted island, well, not deserted, but help the heroic Link escape from Koholint Island. So yeah, basically you're stuck on an island and trying to find your way out, and at the end it kind of takes a bit of a turn, the story, once you beat the game. I kind of dug that. It's just a really good, I was gonna say childish adventure, but childlike, child-minded adventure. Yeah, just so much color and light-heartedness in this game. You know, if you're interested in old school Zeldas, but you're kind of afraid that the old mechanics might not suit you that great, you might want to give this one a try. This is a good throwback to those, and but you know, modernized a bit more. So yeah, give this one a try, and if you dig this, then go play those old Zelda 2D games. They're great too. What I played, I haven't played all of them, but what I did, I played the NES, and I played Link to the Past. Something other two I can't really remember. But, great game. Then we get to number 2 on this list, and I had to put this as in the second place, because it is, I probably played this more than any other Nintendo Switch game. Weirdly, not really too much alone. Might have already guessed it, but I drink a lot, and when I drink, I have friends here, and we always usually play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But even as a single player game, this is fun. I really did enjoy this from what I played. Single player stuff, you know, I tried to unlock all the stuff. Man, it's been so long since I bought this, but at least you could unlock all those different parts for your vehicles and new vehicles, which were kind of cosmetic, everything, you know. New characters, I don't remember if you unlocked those, but well, I think I have all of them, I don't know. Also, I bought all the extra levels, and I almost never buy any DLC stuff, so yeah, that's how much I love this game. When it comes to DLC, I usually skip that stuff, except in 2 types of games. Fighting games, I usually get the characters, Tekken for the most part, maybe Mortal Kombat. For the new Mortal Kombat, I'm kind of, nah, but Tekken, definitely, yeah, I'm getting Tekken characters. And, you know, this type of games, party games, where you get more levels. In this case, it's more karting levels, so you get to drive around in new environments with your friends. So yeah, that was a massive pack of, it says here, 48 tracks, and I think they added I think it was 5 or 6 packages, and every package came with 3, 4, 5 tracks, I can't remember. But yeah, shitload of tracks, new tracks, and yeah, now Nintendo Switch 2 came out, and obviously, game they released it with, Mario Kart World. Although, still, I've heard it's not yet as good as this, because they just released it. They don't have all that extra stuff, extra levels and all that they have in this nowadays. So yeah, I'm gonna have to see, you know, if I decide to get Nintendo Switch at some point. That was one of those $80 games. God. Well, you know how this is gonna go. If I do get the console, there's gonna be a day when I'm drunk with friends, and yeah, if I don't have that game, I'm gonna have it then. I'm gonna be drunk. I'm gonna say, you know, hey, let's play out the Mario Kart game. I got money. And then I go and buy it. That's how I buy most of my party game stuff. Mario Kart Deluxe 8. What else is there to say? It's Mario, and it's a ton of other racers. You drive around, you use all kinds of weapons to try to sabotage your rivals' races, and try to win. Pretty simple idea. Fuck blue shells. Also kind of red shells too. Blue shells, because I'm usually number 1, and those hit only the guy who's number 1. It's fucking up my race. And then we get to number 1 on this list, and yeah, this is a series that hasn't been on this list before. You know, 10 through 2. There hasn't been any game from this series on this list. And this is Nintendo first party game, but now that I think about it, they didn't really release much for Nintendo Switch in this series except this, and maybe one other 2, which was remake from a past game. Which is a shame, because this is definitely Nintendo series that has the best atmosphere, the best kind of audio world. It just has that kind of feel to it that other Nintendo series don't. All the other Nintendo series mostly feel like kind of kid-friendly. Although this, you could say this is kid-friendly too, to a degree, but this one is way more darker in its atmosphere and it just feels so good. It does have a bit of a horror vibe even, which is great. I do love it. I'm not the biggest horror game fan, but this one has just enough of that sci-fi horror kind of feel to it that I'm really enjoying it. And number one is Metroid Dread. Yes, it's one of those Blasteroidvania style of games, or Metroidvania if you want to ignore Blast the Master, then you go and be ignorant. But yeah, we got new Metroid game and it's 2D style, which is my favorite. You're on a planet and you search around the environments, try to get all those new kind of gadgets that allow you to get into new areas, you know, like turning into a little ball and dropping bombs when you're in a little ball, or maybe finding the missile or whatever. There was just tons of stuff. And there's also these small bosses in this one, which were kind of creepy. They were these droids that had this eye. They all had kind of bit different strategies, especially the later ones. I think there was 5, 6 of those. They were kind of creepy, how they crawled on the ceiling and just dropped down and all that. This one really has great atmosphere. I do love that in Metroid games. And even though this is my favorite Nintendo Switch game, this isn't even my favorite 2D Metroid game. But that's just how great 2D Metroid games are. Oh, I've loved them ever since the NES era. Although I haven't played all. I actually haven't played any of the Game Boy Metroid games, which I've heard are great too. I'm waiting for some kind of collection where they come. I don't really want to buy those for my Game Boy anymore. I'm just done with handheld collecting, which is ironic because Nintendo Switch is kind of a handheld, but like I said, I played it in dark mode. But Metroidvania, it's Return of Samus, and it is fucking awesome. The other Metroid game we got was Metroid Prime, but I've said that before. I tried it on GameCube. Wasn't really too big of a fan. I bought the remake that came for Nintendo Switch. I played it more, and I liked it more, but still, when it comes to Metroid, 2D is the way to go, for me, personally. Metroid Dread, this is a fantastic game. You like side-scrolling shooters, or Metroidvania-style games? This is a no-brainer. You gotta get this. But yes, Metroid Dread, that's number one. That was this list. Fuck off, and I'll fuck off, and we'll meet back here when I upload more crap. And what do you say? What's your favorite Nintendo Switch game? Write it down in the comments so I can get comments, and YouTube will think people actually like this channel. And they'll recommend it to other poor bastards like you. But yeah, also Nintendo Switch 2. You thinking about getting it or not? Are you boycotting it? A lot of people are boycotting it. I'm boycotting PlayStation 5 Pro. That was a fucking stupid machine. I mean, holy shit, there's just no reason to get that one, in my personal opinion. It's way too much for what you get. But Nintendo Switch 2, it is a new console. Although, if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna stay away from those goddamn key card games, you know, where you just, key code, I think they were just key cards. You get the physical version, and there is a cartridge you can insert in your Nintendo Switch too, but that only gives you permission to download the digital version. Which, hey, I'm a collector. I can't really say this. I love collecting plastic. I know it's bad for the environment, but that's the stupidest way of destroying the environment, in my opinion. Getting a key card, which allows you to get a digital version when you need to insert the goddamn key card in your console so you can play the digital version. That's just, why not get the digital version then? You know, there's no, I don't get it. Just doesn't really hit me. But if I'm getting Nintendo Switch 2, I'm buying only the games that are in the cartridges, and I'm just gonna try to sneak off here. I'm done talking way too much. Goodbye.